Most guys in their 30s think that they need to be training at least 5 to 6 days per week, eating nothing but chicken, rice, and broccoli, and giving up everything that's fun. But if you are a guy in your 30s and you're trying to juggle your career, your family, it all just seems impossible. But in truth, you only need these 3 non-negotiables to actually see progress. But before we get into those, I want to talk about why most men fail. The first one is the all or nothing rule. Most guys think that they need to put 100% in when they start any program. And if they're not giving 100% to that particular program, then what's the point of even trying? The second fail is trying to watch random YouTube videos like this one, or trying to follow fad diets or the bro split. Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with the bro split, but if you're a guy in your 30s trying to juggle your career, trying to juggle a family, and also look after yourself, as we've already spoken about, the bro split isn't going to work because you can't dedicate 5 to 6 days per week in the gym. So what's the point? You're just setting yourself up for failure. And the third failure is around mindset and thinking that consistency is impossible and they just lead to burnout and giving up. When we talk about consistency, we want to focus on each individual area and master that particular area. So if the first area you want to focus on is getting your workouts in, then that's the consistency that we need to focus on. If you're trying to do workouts, nutrition, mindset, recovery, cardio, it's all just going to get too much. And there's no wonder that guys feel burnt out and they end up giving up because it all just feels too overwhelming and too much. So to make your life easier, here is the 3 non-negotiable framework. Non-negotiable number 1 is training. You're going to only focus on 3 45-minute full body sessions. This is going to save you a lot of time and a lot of stress. If you then have the time, you're then going to add in an additional 4th session. So for example, if you're doing 3 sessions a week, they're going to be full body. If you're doing a 4th session, focus on the areas that you want to improve more. So it might be, for us guys, we always want a bigger chest, maybe bigger shoulders. So again, you can focus that particular workout on an area you really want to focus on. And again, we'll use Matt, who I spoke about in the previous video. And if you haven't already seen that one, go check it out. But Matt only trained 3 to 4 times max per week, and he was still able to get in photo shoot ready shape. The second non-negotiable you're gonna focus on is nutrition. We wanna try and keep this flexible but structured, utilizing 2 methods, the protein anchor and banking calories. The protein anchor is where you're going to focus all of your attention on getting as much protein in as possible in your main meals. So if you have 3 main meals per day, you're going to get the bulk of your protein in during that time, because protein is going to be super important for this to all work, as eating more protein means burning more calories throughout the day. So make sure that every single meal that you have, you're getting a large chunk of protein in. It means that you don't have to stress when it comes to actually hitting your protein target for the day, because you've already built your protein goals around your different meals. The second method within our nutritional structure is the banking calorie method. This is where we manipulate our calories to focus on social events or meetings. So you want to get the bulk of your meals in, or the bulk of your calories around those particular events. So to give you an example, if you know that you're going out for the night, it's a friend's birthday, but you don't obviously want to go overboard and you don't want to feel guilty about going out, having a few drinks, maybe having a few slices of pizza, whatever it may be, you would then maybe fast for the first half of the day, have something small to break that fast, and then you've saved a good chunk of calories for your night out. So you can enjoy some drinks, you can have some good food, and ultimately it will leave you in a place feeling more confident that you are still trying to move forwards rather than just pressing pause. Look, we all know that nutrition is super important, but one thing that I really want to try and put across to you is that it doesn't need to be perfect. You just want to aim for consistent. If you can be consistent with the protein anchor, if you can use the banking calorie method whenever you have social events, and then around that, be consistent on a day-to-day, you will see progress. And the final and third non-negotiable you need to be working on is accountability. And the way that you're gonna do this is weekly check-ins with yourself. You're gonna track 2 to 3 metrics. So that could be your weight and your waist measurements, which is generally what I do with a lot of my clients, as it's nice and easy and they're not having to get the tape measure out to do their chest and their arms every single week. Waist measurement takes 5 seconds. Stepping on the scale takes 5 seconds. Done. If you don't want to do something like the scale, you can focus on waist measurements or photos, for example. Any of these are absolutely fine. Just make sure that you are tracking at least 2, max 3, so that you don't get overwhelmed. Now, when it comes to the weekly check-ins, the reason that we're adding this in is because you need to be accountable to yourself. Yes, it's always good to have somebody like me, a coach who you can check in with and you can get their feedback. But if you don't have a coach or you're not willing to invest in that side of things, then you need to be able to check in with yourself and you need to be honest with yourself. How did you do that week? How was your nutrition? How were your workouts? How are you feeling in general? All of these things you need to be asking yourself so that you can then look back and you can see the progress from check-in to check-in. It'll make a huge difference, so I honestly think it's worth it. And the final area of the accountability stack is milestones. You need to set yourself a goal and a time frame. The reason for this is it's so easy to just go off track. I've seen it time and time again where people will be trying to do something for ages, weeks, months, even years sometimes, and ultimately they just end up forgetting why they were doing it in the first place. So you need to set yourself a goal and you need to set yourself a time frame. So again, we're going to look at, say, 20 pounds in 4 months. You've given yourself a goal, a desired outcome, and you've given yourself a time frame when it needs to be done by. Now, I want to share a story about my client Christian, who utilized these exact same frameworks and managed to lose over 25 pounds in 4 months. Christian's a dad. He's recently just gone through a promotion and he's had to move cities, which has been the most stressful thing ever for him. I'm sure we can all agree that trying to move house is just awful. I hate it. And the reason I'm telling you this story is to show you that this framework can work around chaos. We utilized the banking calorie method on a daily basis for Christian, and it really helped him to just structure his day out because he didn't have to worry about eating for the first half of the day and then focused on getting a bulk of his calories later on in the day when he had meetings or he was having dinner with his wife. At the same time, he had literally just become a new dad when he started with us, so we really had to tailor his workouts completely from scratch. And the saying less is more really came into play here. We did start with 3 workouts, around 45 minutes to 60 minutes. He definitely made the time to get it done. And a big part of his training was actually getting his step count up, so his general activity throughout the day done. And because we had only focused on a small amount of workouts to start with, he had way more time to focus on his general activity. Now, obviously, when it came to the accountability side, he was with me, so I was able to keep him accountable through check-ins, monthly reviews, and daily conversations with him on WhatsApp. But still, the principle still stands that being able to check in, utilizing the banking calorie method and the protein anchors, and also focusing your training to reflect your lifestyle made a difference. So imagine if you knew exactly what 3 things you needed to focus on every single week. No wasted time, no guessing, and that's what we do on the performance audit call. This is where I'll show you exactly how to implement these 3 non-negotiables. So if you haven't already done so, click the link in my description below. So there you go, guys. You've got the 3 non-negotiables that you can go away and work on. And in the next video, I'll show you how you can stay consistent when work and life explodes, and the exact framework that all of my clients use to never fall off track. And if you want to see that video, I'll leave a card somewhere around here and you can go check that one out. Cheers, guys.